Gay marriage. It became legal.
Started as a simple request for a cake at a bakery in Colorado, has turned into a bitter clash between religious rights and civil rights.
A nation that allows the thin veneer of religion to hide the truth of the bigotry that we are still fighting and battling against in this country.
In 2015, I began to hear from people who had been raised under communism, who were telling me that the things they were seeing happen in America today were just like the things that they had left behind when they escaped the communist world. This seemed really alarmist to me, but the things that upset them were cancel culture, were people being afraid of losing their jobs because of the things they said and the things they believed.
Death threats, harassing phone calls, been forced by the government to give up 40% of my business, half of my employees.
I thought they were alarmists, but then I realized they're really not alarmists. They're trying to warn us of serious threats facing us here in the United States and in the West in general. What they're seeing happen is the coming of what I call soft totalitarianism. It's not hard totalitarianism, which we associate with Stalin, with gulags, with secret police, with George Orwell's 1984. We're not going to have that. Rather, what we're going to have is a situation where people are just as afraid to speak their minds because they will be canceled, they'll lose their job, they'll lose their status and so forth, but this won't be carried out by the secret police. Totalitarianism is a system, basically, in which everything is politicized. And that's what we're dealing with here. You can have totalitarianism in a liberal democracy. We're seeing that happen right here in America now.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male with the exception of some of his sperm cells.
You're not educated on genetics?
Would you like to discuss the genetics?
Well, you cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
I traveled to interview Christians who lived under hard totalitarianism. I asked them for their advice on how Christians in the United States and in the West today should prepare ourselves for what's to come. I dedicated my book to a man named Father Tomislav Kolakovic. What he did was bring together small groups to pray, but also to talk about what was happening to their country and how they could prepare for persecution. What Father Kolakovic did was implement a method called See, Judge, Act. To see is to come together and talk about what's going on around them. To judge is to work out how the things happening in the world around them contradict the teachings of the church. And to act, of course, is to go into the world and implement their decisions. It's a simple strategy, but it was very, very effective and built a resistance to communism that lasted 40 years. Alexander Solzhenitsyn warned that what happened in Russia could happen anywhere on earth. It can't happen here. I believe that in the United States, we are in a Kolakovic moment. My book, Live Not by Lies, is a handbook of advice for people who live the hard totalitarianism, who can prepare us and who want to prepare us spiritually and otherwise for the resistance to come.